Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thanks for joining us for the last edition of our 6 p.m. English news this week over the Republican television. Let's begin right away with our headlines. The Prime Minister Chief Dr. Joseph Dion Gute has this Friday, November 26, answered present before the lawmakers at the National Assembly. While presenting the budget, he said 2022 is an important year for Cameroon. Small business owners at the Bonamoussadi market in Yaoundé 5 subdivision this Thursday, November 25th, were in tears as the city council embarked on destroying their market stands as Cameroon is preparing to host the 2021 African Cup of Nations. The president of the Confederation of African Football, Patrice Motpeze, while presiding over the 13th Extraordinary General Assembly of the Confederation of African Football this November 26th in Cairo, Egypt, hailed Cameroon's readiness to host the 2021 Africa Cup of Nations next year. Those were our headlines. We'll be right back. You're welcome back. We begin the news in the north region of the country, where the Minister of Youth Affairs and Civic Education, Modnuna Fotso, has this Thursday, November 25th, 2021, presided over a ceremony to distribute biometric cards and installation materials to youth and pioneer villages in the north region of Cameroon. The ceremony, which took place at the esplanade of the governor's office in the region, is aimed at facilitating access of youth in all basic services. We have details with Anne Umeko.
It is a feel of relief for the young people of the 3 northern regions following the delivery of installation materials to the young people of the 8 pioneer villages and clusters of the Special Youth Trainer Plan and the distribution of biometric cards. A ceremony chaired by the Minister of Youth and Civic Education in the presence of the administrative authorities and the numerous partners enabled, which the Fcfa driving school, which is a key player, therefore, its director appreciated the support of the public authorities. The Minister of Youth and Civic Education underlines the importance of this government's initiative, which allows the acceleration and the realization of the promises of the head of state in favor of the youth.
It's very important because it comes to concretize this will of the head of state, this strong will of the head of state to improve the condition, the living condition of young people.
Young people with biometric cards will benefit from discounts in health, education, transport, and more.
One of those tools is the biometric youth card that give opportunities to young people to benefit from certain structures, partner structures, for preferential or low-cost services. And till now, those biometric youth cards were not operational, really operational, because the young people had received, but the services and the financial inclusion with with banks were not operational. And now, from today, and within 72 hours, these services can be operationalized by our partners so that the young people could really benefit from this biometric youth card.
The minister calls on all young people who have received their biometric cards to make good use of it. This is a project dear to the head of state, His Excellency Paul Biya, who continues to work for the promotion of youth employment as well as their empowerment.
We continue with that story to say the Minister of Youth Affairs and Civic Education, Modnuna Fotso, further explained that the ceremony to provide equipment to young people in the north and all over the national territory is for them to be fully installed into the second generation pioneer villages and is on the high instruction of His Excellency President Paul Biya. Let's now take a listen to the minister's excerpt, carefully selected for us by Anne Umeko.
There were many young people waiting for financing support from the 3 Special Youth Plan. And we seize also this opportunity to announce that those means under the very high instruction of the head of sales are put in place in the different financial institutions. And now young people all over the national territory are benefiting from those financing. And how it consists exactly, and that's why we organize this ceremony to show exactly what are the materials, the equipment given to those young people to make them install in second generation pioneer villages and economic clusters, so that they could really participate in the promotion of the made in Cameroon and the government policy to reduce the importations, so that we make the young people the spearhead, the really spearhead of the nation through their participation in the promotion of the new national development strategy.
Small business owners at the Bonamusadi market in Douala 5 subdivision this Thursday, November 25th, were in tears as the city council embarked on destroying their market stands. According to officials of the city council, the operation is aimed at ensuring fluid circulation of persons passing through the market during the 2021 Africa Cup of Nations in Cameroon. We have details with Isaac Ngonkong.
Business stands going up in flames in the presence of helpless business people at the Bonamusadi market in Douala this Thursday, 25th November 2021. Those who can quickly safeguard 1 or 2 items here are considered lucky, as the fire in the market is fast approaching. This could have been avoided if these occupants had heeded to the warning of the Douala City Council months ago. Douala 5 is supposed to be a clean city. The city mayor has called many meetings to sensitize the population and business people here to liberate the road that is leading to the training stadium for the Africa Cup of Nations that our country will be hosting next year. It is important that those who pass here see that our country is clean. The cries and questions from these market women and girls cannot stop the city council agents whose mission is clear. It is a vast sensitization campaign and operation which aims at clearing the path along the Bonamusadi market so that circulation can be fluid here during the 2021 Africa Cup of Nations. The business people here were informed many months before now, and even this week, but they did not pay attention. The caterpillar comes shortly after to clear off every obstacle standing on the way to the Bonamusadi training stadium passing through the market. The 2021 Africa Cup of Nations is coming, and everyone must play his or her own part to ensure that visitors leave the country with a positive image of Cameroon.
As you heard in one of our lead stories, the Prime Minister Chief Dr. Joseph John Gute has this Friday, November 26th, answered present before the lawmakers at the National Assembly. While presenting the budget, he said 2022 is an important year for Cameroon. At the end of the Prime Minister's budget presentation, some members of Parliament reacted. Now let's take a listen to these members of Parliament speaking on the microphone of Desiree Trésor Bonnet and Parfait Okala.
The Prime Minister presented is for the development of our country in all its facets. I think we made a very, very elaborate coverage of almost all the aspects of this country. But where I'm not really comfortable is the fact that the Northwest region and the Southwest region, this raging war, and most of those projects that he had mentioned, some of them are projects that are supposed to have been done. They could not be done because of the war. And some of these projects are very, very important projects for the people and for the development. I hope that the element of peace should be the key issue here. We cannot have roads without peace. And when there is war, it is difficult for the youth to be educated. It is difficult for people to access hospitals. It is difficult for the economy to bloom. So I think the government has the task of doing everything so that we have peace.
You mentioned the Rabati Road, which has been the cry of the people of the Northwest. We equally talk about the Yaoundé-Douala Road. We talk about the Bafoussam Road. There are many infrastructural projects that are going to go on, and it is going a long way to ameliorate the living conditions of Cameroonians. And we just pray that the security situation that is ongoing in the country should calm down so that this project can be implemented. Because without security, many things cannot go right. We think that in the days ahead, things will be put in place to ensure that peace will return back to Cameroon to give development.
Cameroonian-born Ngo Basong Emilien and Tawa Rigobert, who distinguished themselves in the Cameroon Cinema Award, have today presented their trophies won at the Sotingi Awards 2021. Jan Nenkam took part of the ceremony and brought back the following report.
Upon the reception of awards for their exceptional performances at the Mesdames Messieurs series, the indomitable lion and lioness of the cinema world were at the National Museum this Friday to present their trophies to Arts and Culture Minister Ismaël Bidong Kwad. Ngo Basong Emilien won Sotigi Awards 2021 in Ouagadougou for Best Female Interpreter in African Series, while Tanwa Gilbert won Best Male Interpreter, not only recognizing the individuals, but the country they represent. Chairing the event, Arts and Culture Minister Ismaël Bidong Kwad described the indomitable lion and lioness as the ambassadors who are henceforth references to the youth and all compatriots. While extending the congratulatory letters to the laureates, he went further to assure them of the support of the Arts and Culture Ministry, which according to him is their ministry in fostering the activities of the cinema world.
2021 Sotigi Awards, organized from 11th to 13th November 2021 in Ouagadougou, Burkina Faso. Thus, flying the flag of Cameroon in the fields of arts and culture in general, and theater in particular. On this special occasion, it is a great pleasure for me to congratulate you and to encourage you on behalf of the government. These honors confirm the vigor and spirit of creativity that you demonstrated in winning the prizes which we are celebrating today, which honor the entire Cameroonian nation.
The Sotigi Award of 13 November 2021 is a follow-up to the Canada organized within the national territory to recognize the exceptional talents of these Cameroonians. Certain of the support from the country through the Arts and Culture Ministry, the cinema warriors dedicated their trophies to the country while promising to leave no stone unturned in their ambition to win other countries as far as theater is concerned. The flag of the country of Paul Biya has thus been raised by these actors with their burning desire to go higher heights for the cinema world in Cameroon to be a reference to others.
Having access to public toilet in the capital city of Cameroon is not an easy situation for the population living there. The city center, markets and administrations are all affected by the problem. It is a scandalous situation and the population are calling on the government to do something about it, especially during the upcoming Africa Cup of Nations 2021 that will take place in Cameroon. We have details in the following report.
Be conveniently responded to. Presently, it is not the case in the political capital Yaoundé. Public toilets are an indispensable part of modern cities, but unfortunately, their presence is taken for granted in our cities. Consequently, every corner of buildings in the city of Yaoundé are used by the city dwellers to answer the call of nature. The few toilets spotted are grossly neglected and never cleaned. For a country preparing to host the African Cup of Nations in barely 45 days, some people say it does not paint a good image of Cameroon. Visiting some of the markets in the city of Yaoundé, one can be forced to say that public toilets are nearly inexistent in public places. They are completely absent in some places, forcing some people to relieve themselves in open areas such as gutters amid serious health issues. Nevertheless, most people still have the hope that the government will provide clean toilets in public places, especially during the upcoming African Cup of Nations in Cameroon.
Actors of the cotton sector in Cameroon have today held a workshop in Yaoundé to brainstorm on possible ways of ameliorating productivity and competitivity of the cotton textile sector in the country. Jan Nenkam took part of the ceremony and brought back the following report.
Having as overall objective to ameliorate productivity and competitivity of the cotton textile sector in Cameroon, a workshop to launch a partnership englobing multi-actors in the cotton textile sector in the country was held this Friday, November 26, 2021, in the nation's political capital, Yaoundé. Working in strict collaboration with the pro-cotton projects in the country, which has the sole objective of developing resilience in a sector faced with economic and climatic challenges, these different actors brainstormed on different ways forward, with the forum serving as a platform for constructive exchanges with different ideas tabled, aiming for the same purpose.
For my company, an opportunity to work with other people who are also involved on the textile sector, and I hope that we will manage to sell much better our cotton around the world.
These actors through the workshop are looking forward to facilitating dialogue in the sector, facilitating good governance in a multi-actor and interprofessional sector for positive feedback to be visible in the days ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you are just joining us, you are watching the 6 p.m. English news over Camdis television. Let's now talk sports, where the president of the Confederation of African Football, Patrice Motsepe, has hailed Cameroon's readiness to host the 2021 Africa Cup of Nations next year. He was speaking this Friday, November 26th in Cairo, Egypt, while presiding over the 13th Extraordinary General Assembly of the Confederation of Africa Football. We have details with Isaac Ngonkum.
The smile on the face of CAF President Patrice Motsepe while receiving the Cameroon delegation to Cairo, Egypt for the 13th Extraordinary General Assembly this Friday, 26th November 2021, was foretelling of good fortunes. Little wonder, therefore, that the delegation led by the Minister of State, Secretary General at the Presidency of the Republic, Ferdinand Gongo, were seen as heroes when the CAF boss took to the rostrum to congratulate the President of the Republic, His Excellency Paul Biya, and the entire Cameroonian people for doing all within their powers for an excellent organization of the biggest football bonanza on the African continent, the Africa Cup of Nations. He rated Cameroon's readiness at over 99%, a source of pride to the Minister of Sport and Physical Education, who doubles as the president of the local organizing committee, Narcisse Mwele Kombi, and the director of the tournament, Michel Disake-Mbaruga, also present in Cairo, Egypt. Away from the 2021 AFCON talks, which dominated this Friday's Extraordinary General Assembly, CAF 4th Vice President Seydou Bombonjoya also took to the rostrum to announce that the Confederation of African Football CAF is in support of organizing the FIFA World Cup every 2 years. All in all, the 13th edition of the CAF Extraordinary General Assembly came to a happy end this Friday, with CAF President Patrice Motsepe giving the rendezvous for Cameroon in 2022 for the 2021.
During the Extraordinary General Assembly, the President of the Confederation of African Football, Patrice Motsepe, had some kind words for the President of Cameroon, the Minister of Sport and Physical Education, and the entire Cameroonian people for their passion and commitment to host the 2021 Africa Cup of Nations come next year. Let's now take a listen to an excerpt of the President speaking in Cairo, Egypt this Friday.
People of Cameroon, for football of the continent, I remember seeing Roger Miller. I can't dance like Roger Miller, you know. But I remember seeing Roger Miller scoring those beautiful goals, and only Africa has got style. Only he could dance, you know. I wanted to tell Platini to dance as well, but, you know, only the Africans. So we will see Africa doing very well, and we will. I'm confident that we're going to have a wonderful AFCON in Cameroon, and it's going to be successful. I want to thank you for being here. My brother, Minister of Sports, thank you so much for your passion, for your commitment. Thank our President for the partnership. Because one of my duties as President of CAF, when I visit every country, is to make sure that there's a partnership between the President, the head of state, the Minister of Sports, and the football leadership in the country. The strength of CAF is not what happens in the head office. The strength of CAF is not what the President says. It starts with the strength of every football association in every one of the 54 countries. And that's why we've got to focus, get the President, the head of state. Unfortunately, I know many of the presidents, and I tell those guys, we need more money. I don't just tell the private sector. Support. But we also need the Minister of Sports, and you are an excellent example. We also need the private sector to work together. And with all of those parties working together, I think we will do well. I think I've done my job now.
The governor of the Central Region, who doubles as the president of the Yaoundé site for the 2021 Africa Cup of Nations, Nassiri Paul Biya, was at the Olembe Stadium in Yaoundé this Friday, November 26th, to evaluate the progress of work made this far. We have details with Isaac Ngonkum.
This is the west wing of the Olembe Stadium in Yaoundé. The red ground is gradually giving way, and the parking lot is taking shape progressively as the Razel machines are on a working symphony this Friday, 26th November 2021. The north wing and entry is practically ready for use, but finishing touches are being made here and there. At the east wing of the stadium, inside the main stadium, the two giant screens are proudly standing and fully functional. As promised by the McGill construction last Wednesday, the turn on the athletic track is near completion, with all heavy-duty machinery out of the stadium. This is what the governor of the Central Region, president of the Yaoundé site for the 2021 Africa Cup of Nations, Nassiri Paul Biya, and his État-Major came to see this Friday. At every stop, the McGill construction project manager, Stefan Doe, was ready to answer every question from the governor concerning the progress made. Nassiri Paul Biya, on his part, equally gave recommendations for the construction company to accelerate works ahead of the November 30th deadline. Globally, the pace of advancement at the Olembe Stadium is reassuring as Cameroon is left with 4 days to hand over the facility to the Confederation of African Football (CAF), a challenge McGill Construction is confident to lift.
It was the 6 p.m. English news. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching. Claude Mayo will be with you when it's exactly 8 p.m. for news in the French language. But until then, do stay tuned in the company of interesting programs over the Republican television. Have a blessed weekend.